So, welcome back, everyone, to CPG's podcast, The Supply Chain of Thought. I am CPG's business director, Laura Dow. And today we are doing something a little bit different from our typical discussions about sourcing and supply chain management. Today, we're focusing on what it takes to build a physical product brand from the ground up. And in honor of International Women's Day, that was earlier this month, we are joined by a female founder who has built a business from concept to market. All right, joining us today is Ghaida Alkhaled,
Yes.
founder of Maybliss. Ghaida, welcome to the show.
Laura, thank you so much. I'm honored to be here today. I appreciate it.
We are so excited to have you here. And as I discussed with you previously, today we're going to talk about everything related to your journey, the original idea that you had, how it came about, and also the product development process, and really what it takes to bring a physical product from your brain onto the shelves. It's kind of a long process. I understand you've been at it for about 4 years now. Is that correct?
Yeah, 4 years.
Okay. So let's just start there with the background. What led you to start Maybliss? Usually there's a problem that people are trying to solve, and what did you feel the market needed?
Yeah, so I enjoy wellness and I
Mhm.
travel a lot. And I realized that every time I came back from my travel, I would feel depleted. And it wasn't just the jet lag. I realized I wasn't on top of my supplement regimen. And at first, I actually blamed myself. I thought that I was not committed.
Mm,
And then I sat with that thought even deeper. And I know I'm very committed when I'm back home.
right.
And why am I not doing it when I'm traveling? So I looked at my traveling more closely and then realized that the pillboxes in the market are flimsy, bulky, they spill. And so I would either like leave my pillbox at the hotel and promise myself to take my supplements when I come back to the hotel, and I forget.
Right.
And then I also figured out, why don't I just take the supplement for the day with me in a Ziploc?
Right.
And it's either that Ziploc stays in my purse because I'm so embarrassed of these pills to be exposed and I forget to take them. Or if I do put them next to me when I dine, I did notice that um, it does change something about my trip. I usually travel for pleasure or for work, and I want to enjoy it. And I did notice that when you see those pills, it kind of changes like the vibe. Um, having pills next to you when you dine, you know? So there's something about that. I couldn't really put my finger on it, but there was something about that. Then I realized that the pill boxes we have that are available, not only they're not functional, but they also remind us of being sick, of having to have our pills. It reminds us of our grandma's
Mhm.
pillbox
Mhm.
and that we need to fix something.
Right.
And I wanted to create a shift into that perception for people and actually to enjoy their wellness and to have a product that they're actually proud to take out of their purse, easy to travel with, and have that positive shift in their mind that they're doing something good for themselves. They look forward to do it. So that's the idea I wanted to create.
I love hearing that. It's not what I had imagined. It's deeper than what I had imagined. I am also very focused on wellness, and it's interesting that you mention all these things that it makes you feel like reminds you of your grandparents or think about aging. If you think about those pill boxes that you see in CVS or these convenience stores, they're flimsy, they're plastic, they do remind you of someone that's maybe ill and needs to take medication every day. And that I understand. I've never used them. And when I travel, what I do is I tend to take one of the bottles and I dump everything together into one if I'm traveling for a couple of weeks. And then I have to dump it out on the dresser and sort through by the color. Like I need to take two of these each day. I'm actually going to buy one of your, what do you call them? Pods? This product?
Bliss pods, because
Bliss
what
pod.
we, yeah, so what I intend to have people feel when they use the
Mm,
product is bliss.
mm.
So they're called the Bliss pods. And Laura, I want to tell you also, I have tried many things, and there are luxury pill boxes that I have tried, and I feel like I struggled with, they're either heavy, they're made of all metal, so they're really heavy to carry around, and they did not have that functionality that I can take the day only. But they would sell a weekend, like a 2-day pill box, but that would require me to purchase another product. In addition, I feel like I was not able to track my consistency. Like, for example, did I take my Sunday supplements? I needed to check my 1 week pill box and then my weekend pill box. I wanted to create something like so easy, less mental stress. I just wanted to fit into your, lifestyle, and you go around with your lifestyle, like giving you that boost. So that's the idea.
Well, and again, the bliss concept, I think that now people are embracing wellness and taking care of themselves. They see it more as a privilege, that's something they're excited to do. But I agree that we haven't made the full shift. And so I do love this paradigm shift that you're talking about. It's, again, a concept and an idea much deeper than what I had originally thought. And I guess just for listeners, in case people are not familiar with your product, will you explain exactly what it's a pill box, but it's special. So will you explain what it is so they can then rush to your site and buy it?
Yes, of course. So I actually have it with me, but
Perfect. You can show, yeah.
yes. So this is the Bliss Pod. So the Bliss Pod is. I want to share also great news. 3 weeks ago, we received the U.S. patent for it, so it's patented.
Congratulations. That's wonderful.
Mhm. Yeah, so it's the only patented magnetic modular pill case.
Mhm.
The exterior is made of anodized aluminum, just like your MacBook. So it's durable yet light and luxurious. It opens up and it consists of 7 days of the week. They're individual pods. So, Laura, when you're out and about, just take this guy with you. It fits in your pocket, in your purse, and they're discreet. They don't scream pills. It gives you that, positive nudge, stay on track. And it's also magnetic. So it's spill proof,
Very
magnetic,
cool.
just put it. And they're fun. And we actually came up with a new product now. These pods now stick to your fridge.
Wonderful. That's very
And also,
cool.
you buy two, like AM, PM, or his and hers. They stick to
Mhm.
each other, and so you travel like very elegantly, organized, and you have everything with you. It's completely toxic free, so that's also something it's important to me.
Of course, yeah, I
Mhm.
agree, and I think general consumers are also getting on board with this as well. 5 years ago, people looked at me like I had 2 heads, but now it's the standard, I think, that most people do want. And
Yes.
that is such a nice and beautiful product that when you take it out at the dinner table, I do imagine it sells itself. It sort of elicits questions, "Ooh, what is that? What do you have there?" That sort of thing, because it
Yeah.
really is nice and sleek. And so I'm curious, when did you started the company 4 years ago. Is that when you
Yeah.
initially thought of this design? Is that when you realized that there was a gap in the market, or was it something that you were thinking about for many years before?
To be honest, I feel like I had that issue. As I told you earlier, why am I not consistent when traveling, but did not have the time to really think through it. And I was just, going out with a Ziploc or, things like that, putting the supplements sometimes in my pocket and going. And I think when the pandemic hit, I had that space and time and things slowed down. And that's how, when I'm like, let me just think about this more deeper. I did not really think about starting a company and going all through that. But I was really thinking through it deeper. And then I researched the market because I really wanted a solution. And I was not able to find anything. I tried. I could not find anything. And I just was just sketching on my dining table and, thinking through. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to create this. And I did start with many, many sketches. And then I had product designers from Europe join in and engineers and to design the product I had in mind. Yeah, it went through a lot of iterations,
Mhm.
but yes, that's how it started.
It's exciting because whenever I think I have a good idea that's new and innovative, I do check and it's already there. Someone already thought of it. So that it is exciting. And when you search, the internet now covers the entire globe. So, eventually this product could become quite popular worldwide, I imagine.
Yeah, I think maybe if I found a product, there would be an issue with it. For example, it wouldn't be a toxin free, or maybe it's not doesn't look beautiful. I wanted something to look beautiful. I wanted something, um, it's a beautiful piece that I display at home, and because it's displayed, it reminds me to take my supplements. Whereas we usually hide our, bottles in the cabinet and we forget. But when it's displayed, it's part of like decorations in your home. You get to remember without like
Right.
screaming supplements.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
I wanted something like that, but I was not able to find one. And yeah, that's why I created this one.
Wonderful. So let's talk about the development process. You mentioned engineers that you hired. I imagine this was before we even met. How long did it take you? Did you have this idea to include magnets and removable pods, or was that something that was collaborative? How did
Yeah.
that process work?
Oh my gosh, it's really good questions. Yeah, so I did have the idea of I wanted something that I could take out something out and take it with me. And then we collaborated with the product designers and engineers, and they would just tell me this would work, and if it clicks, or if it's, and I didn't that was not enough for me, like, and people would tell me, like, when I ask my friends and family, oh, that's good enough, that's way better than what's available, but that wasn't good enough for me. I geeked into it, to be
I
honest.
love it. I love it.
I really geeked into it. I wanted to be perfect in every millimeter. If you have this product, it's also a sensory experience. The way you touch it, the way it sounds, the way it feels, the way it pops in, it pops out. It's the whole thing. It's an experience that you get to enjoy. It's something like, when you buy your new Apple phone, it's the whole experience, the way you touch it, the color, the feel. Like, I wanted that as well in my product.
Mhm.
So yeah, we did like take our time and go into that design. I think the design period took a year or even more than that. Yeah, and we even experimented with a 3D printer.
Mm,
And
cool.
yeah, to see like how many pills it would fit, how would it feel when I hold it? Oh, it's too big. It doesn't feel
Mhm.
right. Like we went through all of that until like all of us are happy with the design, and we wanted
Right.
to look for a manufacturer.
That's so fascinating. You are a visionary, and it does remind me of when I read about Steve Jobs and all the intricate details that, he discussed with his team to create, for example, the MacBook that you mentioned earlier, things as small as the logo, how the logo faces when the computers open. And then I also read the book by, let's see, about Elon Musk and designing the Tesla, and you said, geeked out, same, they realize the importance of making this beautiful, perfect, best MVP possible on the market. And I think in both instances it worked. Had the products come out and they were just subpar. No one would have the enthusiasm that they had, when the Tesla first came out, or even, Apple products. So that's very interesting, because I think had you not spent that time, you would run the risk of really just launching something that just doesn't have this ripple effect. Maybe no, it wouldn't even be noticed.
I think so. I think the advice I got is that that's not going to be feasible. You're wasting a lot of time, you're wasting a lot of money. And if you want to be feasible, just, launch, just do the product. And so, yeah, I like that you said that and you gave these examples. Because I want people to really, like, if they're passionate about a product and they want to do something and they feel like they can do even better, then geek into it and enjoy that.
And you hear that all the time also when people say, that's not possible. And that's not feasible. That's actually wonderful feedback, because it does tell you, I'm on the right path. I'm doing something new. I'm doing something different that hasn't been done before. And if you know it's feasible, and clearly it is. So that's also fascinating. I would be motivated by that. And I imagine the process was long, though. So what were the biggest challenges? I mean, I guess there was probably challenges related to design, but then after that, you also needed to evolve these various iterations into product development. So did you work with those same designers to develop a prototype, or did you work with us to develop that prototype? Well, how did that timeline?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, I initially was looking for local manufacturers. I have
Hmm.
contacted a couple, but
Hmm.
it wouldn't work. Like the mold, the size, it was like not possible for the manufacturers I have contacted. And the designers gave me a manufacturer in China that they worked with, and it's like a good quality. And I got like a quotation from them, and then I came across CPG sourcing, and um, that's when I'm like, yeah, this is where I need help.
Hmm.
Um,
Right.
yeah, China is a country I haven't visited yet.
Hmm.
I don't speak Mandarin,
Hmm.
and let alone it was the tail end of COVID. It's not like the
Right.
best time to travel.
Of course. Yeah.
And CPG provided a really good solution for me because they're US based. And then you have your local team in China. They're not just only local, but they have the expertise, they have the connection with sourcing, manufacturers, and they're great communicators. So that was a really good fit with Maybliss that we work together and find the manufacturer in China.
Wonderful. You mentioned a lot of interesting points, and I guess before we dig into them, regarding China, we'd love to meet you in China. The team would love to meet you. I
I
will
want to
actually,
do that trip one day, Laura.
yeah, I'll be
Yeah,
there. It's kind of last minute, but I will be there from April 15th through early May, because
yeah.
we do have quite a few clients coming through. But another time,
Okay.
our
I'll
clients,
plan my next one with you. Yes.
yeah, yeah, and it's What's what I love about what I'm doing now and working at CPG is that for people who don't want to go to China, you don't have to. Many people have gone to China many times or have lived there, like myself. And frankly, with us there, you don't have to go, but going is such a valuable experience. And even if your manufacturing is set up, and even if you're working with a supplier and team that you trust, it's these personal relationships that are so wonderful to develop in person. And I think, you can improve your relationship and, encourage a longer term partnership. So it's a great experience. We could help you with the translation and things like that. So perhaps,
Okay.
later this year or next year, let us know.
Absolutely. And you touched on a point I just want to emphasize is
Yeah.
that I really feel like I do have a great team I can depend on in case I don't travel to China. Like I can totally depend on CPG. It's like I have my own team, and if I have a question, or if I want to produce an extra quantity, or like I do have them and I do ask them and they're available. And this is a very important point you brought up. Yeah.
Thank you. And I think that you also mentioned sort of the difficulties of sourcing in China. And let's be really transparent. Your journey has not been without, there have been bumps along the way. And I think it's important for listeners to understand that we exist as a company, um, and have for almost 50 years, because China offers so much opportunity, but then there's also risks. And so it's not going to be perfect. And we are there because things do happen. Samples or prototypes are developed that aren't perfect, and you have to go back and forth. And frankly, that is part of the process of creating a product, from taking it out of your brain and putting it on the shelf. It's a long drawn out process, and especially something that you've done, creating a very sleek, beautiful, almost frankly perfect looking product that sounds, like you said, the clicking in, the sounds, and feels nice in your hands. And so, what about that process of even working with us? I understand, I think there's been multiple iterations of samples. Were there any surprises that really you thought, wow, I didn't expect this? Or,
Yeah, I think we went through many. I'm glad you're asking this. I'm just thinking as we're speaking. For example, like the magnets are not strong enough, or they would fall if it's filled with supplements, and we needed it to be really strong, even stronger, even if you put heavier stuff other than supplements. Like I was very, very specific. And we didn't want the magnet to be too thick, and it wouldn't look like too elegant, but still not too thin, and it's not strong enough. And yeah, we did experiment a lot with the manufacturer, and going back to the designer, and back and forth until like we perfect things. The way the pods close, want it to lock really well, so if you drop it, they won't open up, but still easy for you to open them up. So we needed to like try them in the prototypes, make sure it works. And prototypes are expensive, especially when
they
you do
are,
samples. They're
yeah,
very expensive.
right.
I reached a point that I'm like, oh my God, do I afford this? Should I just mass produce? And it's really hard. It's really hard decision. And I sometimes like push myself. I'm like, let me just invest even more and do more prototypes just to make sure it's perfect. But yes, we did go through a lot. Even like, yeah, the mechanism to close. It used to close just directly and with a loud noise. And now it has this cloud feel. It just slows down and then it closes. This silicon, we worked on this silicon seal in detail, and how to have it not exposed and just do the work and things like that.
And these are very important points. They sound like details, but it's important because we work in all industries. And so, a product that's already on the market, but perhaps tweaked or changed a little bit, there's already guidelines and standards and inspection standards, and there's already specification sheets. What you've created is so new that it does require testing. The strength of the magnet with pills and without. Now, for example, if you were to do another version, or a different size, or even a different shape, you would have that knowledge to build upon. And so that is a really important distinction when doing prototypes and developing a physical product, that those guidelines, we can't go to the suppliers and say, or the manufacturers and say, what are the standards in your industry? We're going to follow those standards and then tweak a little bit. Everything is from scratch. And I'm reflecting on a time about 8 years ago when we were helping a client produce paper straws in China. And now paper straws are popular, I think, in many places. I think you rarely see plastic. But at that time, this is a similar example. there were no inspections, like standardized inspections for this type of product. And so we would actually have to take the straw, stick it in water. How long does it stand in water before it gets soggy and mouthfeel and all these things that you don't think about that, when no standards exist, you have to create them. And so that's exciting, but also just, something that designers and developers should be aware of. It'll
I
be
wasn't
worth
aware
it.
of this until you
Yeah.
said it,
Yeah.
until you just said it. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's so true.
Right, right. Okay, so let's, I guess, talk about where you are today. Um, any exciting news you want to share, or what is your current trajectory, and any updates that you want to share with listeners?
Yeah. We launched the Bliss Pod at the end of 2022,
Okay,
and it is sold almost sold out. Like we have only few in stock.
congrats.
And yeah, so I think we have the market validation, and
Wonderful.
we've been only selling D2C through our website
Okay.
only, and
Wow.
not even through other website or Amazon, only through our website. And I think the exciting news is that I just said that earlier, but we did get the US patent for the product.
Wonderful. Yep.
And we also have our new hero product, which is the Bliss Pod Pro, which has extra features. People are loving it. It looks beautiful. You can stick it on your fridge, and your fridge looks elegant, but still reminds you before you make your meal to take your supplement.
Right.
Yeah, and so this product is exciting for us. And also, I have participated in my first trade show 2 weeks
Mm,
ago.
wonderful.
Yeah, I wanted to start to do B2B.
Hmm, hmm.
There was more demand than I thought, to be honest.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it was more demand, but I think with the brand, we want to be aligned with retailers and buyers who have the similar values, because we look at
Hmm.
long term. We
Of
don't want to
course.
just and this is what we're working on, partnering with B2B. We just launched our product on wholesale on the website Fair for wholesale, and yeah, and working on launching this product.
Really exciting. And I also love that you stuck with your own site, not selling anywhere else. I think you've done a great job building a brand and what is the word I'm looking, like almost like a following. And it's not going to be easy for anyone else to do what you're doing. And that's really exciting. What was the show you participated in, if you don't mind me, or if you feel like sharing? And are you going to be participating in any other shows that you might want to share?
I participated in the Natural Product Expo West. It was based
Wonderful.
in Anaheim. It's one of the largest trade shows. I haven't like planned yet for another show. It was overwhelming, you know. So let's see how this sits, how things progress after the trade show, and then take it from there. Um, yeah, but I think for now we are available on the website for who is interested in wholesale. We're also available on Fair, FAIRE.com for wholesale. Yeah, and I'm always available. Like if people want to contact or collaborate, I'm happy, to do that.
So I will circle back at the end because I just have one more important question, and we can circle back and go through all your links, website, and socials and include those in the episode. But before we get there, as a woman founder, entrepreneur, product designer, what advice would you give to other founders starting a product-based business?
I think I want to share something I went through after like going through creating the product and perfecting the product.
Mhm.
I realized it's not just about that. Also, being an entrepreneur and an e-commerce owner is a even a different thing I went into, which I did not expect to be as hard as I wouldn't say as hard, but as a learning process for me because my previous experiences as an executive, so I'm used to like delegating and leadership, and that was extremely the opposite, extremely the opposite. So I had to wear a lot of hats. I had to be, I had to be there, like customer service, building my website, sending the emails, marketing. I'm the strategist. I'm the, everything, financials, to the details. And that was a big shift for me. I think if people want to create a product, they need to think of everything else, I would say. I would also say, if you want to create a product, look for a gap in the market and try
Hmm.
to fill that gap.
Hmm.
But also, don't let people doubt your product, or sometimes you also doubt your own self. It's a long, lonely journey for entrepreneur. So I would say if you really believe in your product and you're passionate about it, then go ahead. Just give it, but I would say give it your all. If you go over your doubts and people doubts, that I think those founders who keep continuing.
Okay, so I want to summarize what you've said because I think the advice is really helpful. So the first is, if I want to paraphrase because I think it's a bit nuanced comment you said, is that really be prepared to go all in. If you were an executive before, you need to be ready to do it all. Is that correct? Every
Yes.
aspect of the business. And I can understand that particularly in the early days because you own it. It is your vision, it is your baby. And I think at that stage of business development or creating the brand, it's going to be hard to find someone else that can match your passion. Is
Yes.
is that in sort of, is that a good way of
Yes.
summarizing?
I think you can find someone, and it's healthy to fill in the gap or expertise
Right,
where you need to fill in some expertise. Just like for me, I brought in CPG,
right,
but I
right.
think at the beginning, when you're doing it for your own, like there's no one except you. You're a solopreneur, so you need to like stand on your feet before you bring in someone.
Solopreneur. Okay. And then number
Yeah.
2 was find a gap in the market, which you absolutely did, respond to a gap in the market. And number 3 was don't let other people's comments about saying something is not feasible get you off track, or even your own internal negative thoughts. If you believe in
Yeah.
it, you got to go for it.
It gets lonely, Laura. I
Mm,
think for solopreneurs, you're on your computer by
mhm.
yourself at home or wherever you're working. It does get lonely, and then you do get to doubt yourself, and people get to doubt you. And I think also another thing I would say: surround yourself with other entrepreneurs.
Oh, I love that final one. Surround yourself. It's true because you are sort of the sum. What is that phrase of the 5 people that you spend the most time with? And so if you're spending your time with other solopreneurs and their passion and enthusiasm, will rub off and you can also learn from each other,
Yes, yes,
right?
which is beautiful.
It,
Yes.
we are always learning and improving. And I think that if you're not maybe trying hard enough or something is not challenging enough, right? Okay, so unless there's something else you want to share with the audience, I think we could probably close and go through how people find you.
So you can find us at maybliss.la. That's
Mhm.
Maybliss dot LA. And then
Mhm.
the product is the Bliss Pod Pro. And I would like to extend the discount for CPG sourcing followers. And you can use discount CPG to get your discount.
Wonderful.
Um, if you're interested in wholesale, if you're a buyer, distributor, retail store owner, we are also listed on FAIR. That's
Mhm.
FAIRE.com. And you can find us as Maybliss.
Mhm.
And yeah, I honestly, the brand is called Maybliss. You may be blessed. The bliss is what I hope for people when they use the Bliss Pod or any of our product. We want you to be at that high vibration, and we want you to be at your peak performance, energy, joy, but still grounded and peaceful. So this is what I aspire for people. And if you're using the product, please write reviews or contact me. Tell me your critiques, tell me what you like about it, because that's how we improve.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Ghaida. You may
Yes.
be blissed is
Yes.
beautiful. And now I better understand the name. And it's such a wonderful wish for everyone. And I guess also, in addition to what you said, the socials, we can find you on socials. We will put all of this in the show notes along with that discount code. It was
Yes.
such a pleasure learning about this journey. It is a beautiful product, a beautiful story, and I've really enjoyed speaking with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. I appreciate it. Really nice talking to you too.
You as well. And we will follow your journey and we'll also do some collaborative things online. So stay tuned, everyone. Okay. Bye bye.